In the beginning, there was the Word. George Carlin has a great little bit about the power of words. And it goes something like, I'm going to ruin the joke, but I just want the scaffolding, where initially the trauma that a soldier got in combat was called shell shock, where your nervous system was completely fried. And you were either on the edge of losing your shit, or you'd already lost your shit and you were just gone already. You were shell shocked. 2 syllables. Everybody knew what you meant. Then it became some sort of overstimulation. I don't remember the exact terminology, but it was something overuse, and the language became more watered down, more vague, more syllables. And now it's called post-traumatic stress syndrome, right? That's a lot of syllables, and that's really vague. And it takes the piss out of it. It makes it weak. What do you mean? Well, that person has post-traumatic stress from war, from having an argument online, from being a pregnant man and not being accepted by the far right extremists. What's post-traumatic stress syndrome really mean? Because it's not specific anymore. It's this watered down language. And just like I always do, I kind of slippery slope these ideas and see how they're connected. And this seems to be what my videos are about, and how maybe random thoughts, maybe, relate to things that are going on in current events. The word, what is a word? It's a sound, it's a vibration. And if you watch my stuff, you know that the invisible scaffolding, the creation pattern, consists of vibration. Everything is a symphony. Sounds. It's said that aliens listen to the universe as music, and that they are fascinated by the fact that we make music proactively. Some other people say that aliens, there's no such thing. They're demons. So that would explain why they can't create music, and why they think it's fascinating that we can. Kind of goes hand in hand with my creators, destroyers theory of how the world works. And it also goes back to biblical things, like the angels being servants, and us co-creating the universe with God. I've got people that get mad at me at saying things like that, and maybe that's not. Maybe that's my interpretation of biblical things. I've got a lot of unpopular ideas, like Yahweh being an imposter. He reveals himself, in my opinion, many times, and people get upset and call me a false prophet and say that I'm misleading people and leading people astray. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just some guy on a live stream speaking my mind. It's just my word against yours. I use my discernment to say what I think. And a lot of times I'm speculating out loud. I'm just saying what I'm thinking. Ideas that you might not have. And I'm saying, here, play around with this. Maybe comment something. Maybe you think something I don't. Or maybe you see something in my ideas that I'm missing because I'm too close and I can't see the forest for the trees. And maybe you can help me untangle this, because in my opinion, we're co-creators and we should be helping each other. We should have empathy for one another, and we should be working together to make the world a better place, to help each other. Not any kind of profit. I've repeatedly said that the whole guru thing is ridiculous. I would never say that. And that if I was, I'd be the worst prophet ever, because I say I don't know more than anybody that I know, even regular people. Just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm speculating a lot of times, but I'm thinking out loud. My discernment tells me certain things. It may differ than your discernment. So I'm not just throwing up in your head and you have to accept it for what it is. You can say, wow, well, I agree with Vlad on a lot of things, but that one thing he said, he's way off. But we can still be friends. We could still listen to each other. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what freedom of speech is all about. Being on the same page about having mutual respect for one another and allowing each other the freedom to say things out loud that might not be true. I'm not doing it maliciously. I'm just thinking out loud. Please don't follow me like I know something you don't. I'm not leading anybody astray. Okay? And when I say follow, I'm not talking about X or Facebook or whatever. I'm talking about, like, don't follow me like I'm taking you somewhere because I know where I'm going. I'm trying to figure it out like everybody else. But speaking of X, and speaking of speech, the much hyped interview with Trump last night. It's not an interview, it was a conversation, and Elon actually made it a point to say it's not an interview, it's just a conversation, because the other guys can't have a conversation. They need teleprompters. They can't be spontaneous because they have, when you lie, when you misuse the word, you need a lot of syllables. You need to water down things. You need soft language. You need kid gloves. You need censorship. And the EU demanded that the hate speech, the imminent, speaking of prophets, right? The imminent hate speech that was about to be this conversation between Elon and Trump needed to be stopped, because it would be chaos in the streets and same old crap that they've been saying forever, because people don't have the ability to discern. If Trump says something, they're just automatons and they're just gonna go do stuff and do the stuff that the left has been doing the entire time. They're so worried about riots and all this violence, which is what they've been doing the entire time. They're worried that we are like them, because they judge others as they judge themselves. But they don't look at themselves, so they don't know that. But maybe if they read their Bibles and had some sense of holiness within, they would understand that they're talking about themselves. Elon warned, though, gave us fair warning. This was going to be a no-holds-barred conversation between two real people. No questions are off the table. People immediately started commenting in those posts. Who is 17? What happened with JFK? Etc., etc. 9/11, Illuminati, Vincent Fusca, etc., etc. And big DDoS attack. So they were almost an hour late coming in. They were receiving a DDoS attack, and also people like me were trying to get in there, trying to hear. When I looked at it, it was millions of people. And now, looking back, according to Elon, the traffic was over 1 billion, around 1 billion. I don't know over, but right around 1 billion people. Because not only did people tune in, but people shared it millions of times. And that was what, 12 hours ago, 15 hours ago? I haven't done the math. I'm probably wrong. I'm sure someone will let me know how wrong I am. The conversation started out with the assassination attempt. Okay, good. Right out of the gate. Let's hear it, man. Let's hear this no-holds-barred conversation. In no uncertain terms, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Shell shock. What happened? Who's crooks? What the fuck happened with the Secret Service? Why weren't they coordinating correctly? How could this happen? Who let all these doors open? Why weren't you taken off stage? Who's responsible for this? Oh, it's such a terrible thing. And the families of the people that were hurt are such brave people, and it's so unfortunate. I agree. I agree. And that should have been addressed. And it was addressed. And that's fine. But the whole thing was just a softball interview. A softball conversation. Where's the fucking no holds barred? And when Trump started talking about what a great job the Secret Service did. What? It's arguable to say that those people, you're still relying on those people, so you probably don't want to talk shit, because they're still the people that are protecting you. Although at this point, I don't know why he's not just hiring his own people. Why is it? I would just be like, hey, thanks guys. Protect the perimeter, or get a Coke. Go take a nap or something. I'm just gonna hire my own security because I'm a billionaire and I don't fucking trust you guys. No, they were doing a great job, and even complimented, I think, one of the ladies that was ducking behind, not protecting him. She was behind him, ducking to not get shot. The one fumbling with her gun, couldn't put it back in her holster. And the whole thing, like 2 hours of talking about the weather and how the sky's blue and water's wet. Now, Vlad, you have to understand that There are many people that are just listening to Trump for the very first time, and they don't want to hear all this crazy stuff. You're probably a little bit more astute and more in tune with what's going on, and you're tired of hearing the same old stuff. But there's so many people that are hearing this stuff for the first time, and it's a strategic move. You don't want to be off-putting and too stern and too decisive. In fact, that's been Trump's problem the entire time. He's been too tough. So now you're seeing a much more refined Trump that understands. He's got more statesmanship, a better bedside manner, and all these new people that are formerly leftists, moderates, fence sitters. You don't want to scare those people away. So that's what that was. Okay, maybe. But we are, a few months away from November. The left is on the offense. There's nothing subtle about what they're doing. They're pissing on our leg for 8 years, telling us it's raining, attacking us violently, letting rapists and murderers into our country, and then organizing and promoting and inciting riots, burning cities down, attacking, DDoS attacking, sending threatening letters to shut down free speech, hate speech. Free speech is hate speech. If I don't agree with you and I'm a leftist, that means what you're saying is hate speech. Everything, in my opinion, that I don't like that you have to say if I'm a leftist is hate speech. Who gave that person the authority to decide? Do you understand the premises that they are above us? And they've been on the offense the entire time. And they're losing, it appears. They're losing right now. They seem to be slowly retreating and trying to regroup and failing. So when do we go on the offense? When do we stop pulling punches? When do we stop using soft language and kid gloves? When do we stop having these weak-ass fucking interviews? I listened through 2 hours of Elon Musk stuttering and Trump ranting. Oh, it was the best, the greatest, da-da-da-da-da. Typical Trump stuff. Not hating on it, but that interview could have been done in 45 minutes, not 2 hours. And I've already heard all that stuff before. Can we have some meat on the bone? Can we have something fucking a little more powerful? The word shell shock. We're over here co-creating the universe, in my opinion. And if we're going to resonate with each other in these times, some suspect there are the end times. Shouldn't we be using real language and talk about real shit? Real shit. Without these pleasantries. and this dawdling. And I'm sorry, but I don't give a shit if these fair weather political people are hearing Trump for the first time. I'm sorry you slept on the job. I'm sorry you neglected your responsibility as an American citizen or as a citizen of your country and you're losing your freedom. Time to play catch up. It's your responsibility. Just like it's your responsibility to exercise your discernment and decide if what I'm saying is bullshit or not or whatever. It's every person's responsibility to catch up. The leftists want us to all end up in the same place, which means the ends justify the means. Life isn't fair. We all start at different places. Some of us are rich. Some of us are poor. I was born in Romania. We had almost nothing. We came to America halfway around the world. My dad became a mechanical engineer, ended up making pretty good money. I had a great childhood because of all of that, all the stuff that we went through. And now I talk to you, and it's part of my income. Yeah. Forget that I have 20 other jobs. But I do what I love and I don't hate my life. I did that. I wasn't born rich. But people want us to end in the same place, whether you're a piece of shit or somebody that struggled their whole life to get to where they are. They want to take this guy that struggled their whole life and give it to this piece of shit so they could all end up in the same place. And what that does is it brings everybody down. It doesn't pull anybody up. It's crabs in a bucket. Oh, you're succeeding? You're escaping the matrix bucket? Let me pull you down. That's what that is. And if that's the mentality Trump is catering to, what the fuck? It's up to every single one of us to speak clearly and be heard, to discern who to believe and what to believe on a case-by-case basis. Every single thing. I don't care if you're pro-Trump or Elon or me or that guy or that guy or that guy. Every single thing that comes out of that person's mouth is a separate, isolated thing that you should be discerning against. Trump should be aware of this, in my opinion. What do I know? I'm not the president. I'm just some guy in a car talking to you. But at this point, at this stage in the game, people need to be playing catch up. And if we're going to save this country, if we're going to save the planet, because it's the last beacon of freedom, if America falls, there's nowhere to run. He needs to speak clearly, concisely, and exercise the power of the word so that everybody knows that he's not fucking around. And this is for all the marbles. Walking away from that 2-hour interview, everybody should have felt energized, revitalized, invigorated. I felt let down again. Watered down language, soft language, and kid gloves. That's it. I'll see you guys next time.